are gathered here today as a nation, as a people who represent the vast majority of people in Northern Ireland who are pro-life. This is the first anniversary that we are here today to mark the anniversary of the imposition of abortion that was forced on Northern Ireland by the Westminster government. I shared live the other day from Stormont that we're all very familiar with, "Least we forget." And this is why we are here today, because we will never forget. We will never forget one unborn child that's been murdered through abortion. Never mind 664 and counting. We will never forget the 666 babies killed in the Republic of Ireland because of abortion. And we will never forget the millions of babies that die every day throughout the world because of abortion. The great civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." So we're here today to commemorate the 664 little babies that have been murdered through abortion. 664 unique, individual, little baby boys and girls that cannot celebrate their birthdays or will not celebrate their birthdays. And we have a shoe display representing 664 little babies that have died through abortion. And we may ask, how did this happen in Northern Ireland, a pro-life country, a country that has fought abortion from being imposed or forced on us from 1968 right up to 2019. But people thought they knew better than we or our own politicians when Sinn Féin went to the Westminster government and pleaded with them to kill little baby Irish baby boys and girls. And SDLP thought they knew better, and along with the Alliance Party, along with the Green Party, and along with the members of the Ulster Unionist Party, who knew whenever they were being asked to go back into government, when they could have went into government before the 21st of October, and they refused to do so. The blood of every single little baby boy and little baby girl is on their hands. And we know through Scripture that blood, we know that God will hold those accountable who stood by, like what the SDLP did on the 21st, when they had the opportunity to form a government with the Democratic Unionist Party, who gave them a get-out clause, who gave them an opportunity to form a government, nationalists and unionists, to prevent this great diabolical horror from being unleashed in Northern Ireland. But yet those proud, arrogant politicians walked out and by doing this pulled the plug. The life support machine, which was our 1861 Offences Against the Person Act, legislation that protected our unborn children. They walked out and they have the blood of the unborn children on their hands. 664 unborn children. And as I heard an amazing speech by Father Altman, who talks about the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, and talks about the church and how those who are unwilling to stand up and defend those babies at this time. Well, we talk about them today because 664 little babies and counting will be blocking, who will stand before these politicians on their deathbed, and as they, at that moment, that very moment when people are dying and crying out for mercy, these 664 babies and more will stand there and will be there. We won't be there at judgment, but these babies will be there at judgment, and they will cry out, and that blood will cry out for vengeance unless this government repeals Section 9. unless this government restores personhood, we are here today to say to every single member of the Northern Ireland Assembly and all those representatives at Westminster that we want to see in our lifetime the restoration of our laws. We want to see personhood restored. And that is why we are gathering here today, to say this battle will not be over. While we have breath, we will rise up and we will fight this battle every single day until every single little unborn child has a voice. These babies cannot cry for themselves. They cannot speak for themselves. They cannot write to our politicians. But we can. And those of you who are listening here today, and we'll hear many speakers from different backgrounds and with many stories to tell of how abortion affected their lives, we will have mothers here who will testify to the amazing work of Stanton Healthcare in Northern Ireland. Stanton Healthcare has to be supported by the people of Northern Ireland because this is how lives are being saved. And this government must also, until this legislation is repealed, they must support life-affirming organisations like Stanton, centres like Stanton, who will help women go through a difficult, sometimes very difficult, pregnancy crisis. So we have mothers here today to testify to that. We also have a beautiful mother who has come here today, and her name is Linur, and she will allow us to hear the beautiful sound of the heartbeat of her baby. And I believe her baby, her name means beam of light. So can you imagine when an ultrasound shows that the beam of light that comes from an ultrasound through the mother and projects that onto a screen, and we can see the beautiful humanity of that precious little baby. So we will listen to the heartbeat, the live heartbeat, which just will resound through this land today, that life is precious and must be protected. We also have Father McCaffrey, a very outspoken priest, and we admire Father. He has always spoke out in defence of the unborn.